I want to bring in Martin Fletcher, former NBC News Tel Aviv bureau chief. Martin, thanks for being with us. You covered Israel for years, including for us here at NBC. I'm wondering what your reaction is to what we're seeing today.
Well, Lindsay, it's beyond any expectation of what Israel thought was possible. And I think what's happened is that Israel's entire conception of its defense vis-a-vis Gaza, Hamas in Gaza, has been completely shattered. I mean, the idea that Israel could be attacked by land, sea, and air and not have any inkling that it was happening, a terrible intelligence failure, which is already being compared, of course, to the failure of 50 years ago, almost today, when Israel was surprised by Egypt and Syria. I was actually there on that day when they were attacked. It was a complete surprise. But they had intelligence information. They just didn't treat it correctly. This time, they had no information, as far as we know. So that's an extraordinary failure of Israel's intelligence, of its preparations, and the pictures we're seeing of the celebrating Palestinians in Gaza is just a warning of what's going to come. Because Palestinians in Gaza, Hamas now have been appealing to Arabs in Israel, in the West Bank, Hezbollah in Lebanon to join the fight. So now we're going to have to see what happens. Will the fighting spread, or will Israel's attacks from the air on Gaza, on Hamas, be enough, or will there be a ground invasion by Israel of Gaza to attack Hamas on the ground, and in particular, of course, to save the Israeli captives who are now being held hostage in Gaza?
And I want to read to everybody a statement that we just got from Israel Defense Forces. You mentioned, will the attack on Gaza be enough? It says, earlier today, IDF fighter jets struck military infrastructure in two multi-story buildings in the Gaza Strip used by senior Hamas terrorist operatives for carrying out terrorist activity. In one of the buildings, the IDF struck the military offices of a number of units and arrays of the Hamas terrorist organization, including the Hamas intelligence headquarters, its weapons production offices, and other offices belonging to senior Hamas terrorist organization leaders. The second building contained military offices used by the Hamas terrorist organization general security apparatus. How significant is that retaliation, Martin?
I think it's very significant because Israel's known for a long time that Hamas had officers in those two tall buildings that dominate the skyline of Gaza. Having their military officers in residential buildings, by the way, the part residential, part commercial, was a way of kind of human shield, if you like. So Israel hang off. Israel did not attack those buildings in past conflicts because they wanted to avoid the kind of casualties that we're now seeing after they attacked the two buildings. Apparently, Israel, before they attacked, destroying the buildings, warned the residents to leave. They said they were going to attack, and then they attacked them, and they destroyed two major landmarks in Gaza. So it's very significant. By the way, there's another issue that is the headquarters of Hamas has been known for a long time to be underneath the hospital of Shifa, the main hospital in Gaza. In the basement is, or at least was, the headquarters of Hamas. And Israel always refrained from attacking because, of course, they don't want to attack a hospital. And in this case, they didn't want to attack residential buildings in Gaza. But now, I guess you can say the gloves are off. They destroyed those buildings in Gaza. It's a sign that Israel is now going to go all out in its attack against Gaza.